It is 21 next on your Tuesday, and that is the story we're talking about right here. It's a controversial sign that was put up in February by that bus driver you're looking at right there. And now it's getting new traction because it's been brought to light by someone in the U.S. government that maybe this should be looked into. But we're looking into how likely that is to actually happen. So let's bring in Maxine Rose right now has been the reporter on this one and got the exclusive interview with that bus driver very recently. Remind people of the situation that started this whole thing, the circumstances that brought that bus driver to want to put that sign out to begin with.
Right. So in speaking with Diane Crawford there, she tells me that there was allegedly a student who was kind of acting out of order, had a history of kind of riling up some of the other kids on the bus. He was also a bilingual student and often spoke in Spanish. And being that she couldn't fully understand everything that he was saying and only getting kind of bits and pieces, she said that she was really doing this out of concern for safety. She didn't want, this student to be saying things that would be harmful to the other students or doing anything kind of provoking something, and her not being able to understand exactly what they were saying.
So that's her side of things. But then after that got posted, what happened?
So after it got posted, she says a student took a picture of it. And after that point, just went viral. Of course, you have people who are saying, how could you restrict language? There's nothing wrong with speaking Spanish. And so you really kind of got that clash online.
Maxine, the more I look at this thing here, it says in respect to the English only students.
Yeah.
It doesn't say for the safety and so I can understand you. Like, that's not what it says.
Right. And actually, when I spoke with Diane, and let me add too, we did this story a year ago when this all started and just had the information that was, in that sign and from online and speaking with people. But we didn't speak with Diane until just now, almost a year later. Yeah. And she's only now explaining, I miswrote it. She said, I didn't write it the right way. She doesn't regret writing the sign or doing something about it, but she kind of said, I wish I had written it differently. And maybe in that sense, I would have said, please no bullying on this bus, like in any language.
Okay.
Gotcha. So she did admit to that. But
yeah, so that takes us to this situation here, which is it gets new life because you talked to her. It's the first time we've heard from her. Yeah. That then gets shared with different people all the way up, including Elon Musk and some members of the U.S. government. So take me through that part a little bit.
Yeah, a lot of groups there that were resharing it all over X and a bunch of social media platforms. So what we did see was from the Assistant Attorney General in the Civil Rights Department of the Department of Justice. There it is right there. You can see that tweet. She's saying, this is deeply concerning. I've directed the Civil Rights Department to open an investigation into this situation implicating, quote, DEI wokeness. You can see there. So that's where today I then approached, some experts and really tried to dive into this, what is the possibility of this actually happening?
Okay, so it says I've directed the Civil Rights or at Civil Rights, so that group to open up an investigation, the Department of Justice. Okay, so who did you go to for this?
So today I went to it's called FIRE, which is let me just double check. I want to make sure that I'm saying the full name correctly. The Foundation of Individual Rights and Expression. So it's FIRE. So I spoke with someone there who kind of talks about this issue not necessarily being a federal issue. So, he says our eyebrows are kind of raising right now because we're not really sure which direction the Department of Justice is really going to take this. And given that this is such a specific issue, but also like a local issue in just this circumstance, given kind of the way that the contractual relationship was set up, first of all, and just the way that kind of everything happened is making this a little bit less likely to be a federal issue.
Let's get into what she wrote in her reasoning that was then used in a sense against her to conclude with her firing?
Yeah, so I have a screenshot here. Sorry, I did not share this with our producer, so you're not going to see it up here just yet. But I'll read. It says this was from Thursday. It was sent at 5:20 p.m. This was January 30th. January 30th, she says. Yes. So then she was fired, by the way, February 1st, 2025. So again, this message says, I'm about done with these kids. I have a no Spanish speaking sign up. She then says, I was called the fat one, El Gordo, in Spanish tonight. And then one of the kids told me when he was getting off the bus that I should treat others the way I want to be treated. I told him he should think about that. So her kind of admitting to having created this sign and putting this on the window is kind of then what Juniata County School District wrote in a statement saying to us recently, that it's kind of the written admission that led them to make a decision so quickly and fire her overnight.
Right. That they knew that she actually wrote it. And so the fact that she wrote it, the content of it was enough for them to do that.
Yeah.
Let's get into the numbers here for a little bit. We're still trying to understand how she purchased the route. What does that actually mean?
Yeah. So, okay, let me break this down a little bit more. So when I say fire and when she says fire, what it really means is like terminating the contract, because she is self-employed. So she has her own busing company. On the side of her bus, it would say Crawford. That's her last name. But she had been working or serving, I guess I should say, the Juniata County School District for, 3 decades, more than 3 decades. In that time, Roar Bus, she says, had kind of come in and became a transportation partner of the district. And so then she ended up going into contract through Roar Bus. So she was subcontracted there. But as a self-employed bus driver, you have to not only buy your own buses, but your own routes. So she was, paying upwards of, $30,000 is what she said, for one of the routes that she bought in 2024. And at this point, what she's arguing is that, she is paying for this bus route, which now she's arguing the school district is covering, but she's not able to cover herself, and she's still kind of paying for it.
Okay. So that's still up in the air?
Yeah. I mean, that's kind of where things have been left at this point. And it's, unclear whether she'd get that money back.
Okay.
But
and then she's saying, she's saying she appreciates the new support. So is she going to sue and try to get this going legally from her side?
Well, I think she's certainly thinking about it based on, what I asked her. She was like, I've been speaking with some legal counsel across the state trying to get something. But I think, there is something different about this case. They need to sit down and look at her contract and look at the school's policies and so on and so forth. So, I think she'd be interested in doing that, but I think there's just a lot more that needs to happen before a case can really be put together.
All right. Everyone's caught up now, and we will see where this goes next. Do you think she's going to speak again?
I think she will. I mean, she says that her phone is kind of blowing up. She says that she's, I think, getting a lot of support, but then also getting a lot of people that are asking her a lot of questions. And so, she's just trying to kind of navigate all of that right now. I mean, I know none of us really expected it to blow up in the way that it has. And so this conversation that has really started from all of this has been significant and certainly interesting.
Yep. All right. Well, thanks for keeping us up on this. And hey, next time we talk to her, let us know.
Yes, absolutely. We'll do. Thanks.
All right. There's 21 next on your day before Christmas. Thanks for watching, guys. We'll see you next time.